All right. Thank you guys for coming. Like I said, I'm so excited to see you because I was afraid Zoom was going to just hide me for the rest of the day, acting like it didn't even know who I was. So today what I wanted to do is, and for those of you who have not been here before, this is super casual. If you have any questions, just interrupt or put it into the chat. I don't always see the chat when I'm screen sharing, but there are people in here that will shout out your question if I don't see it. So I appreciate that about you all. Super casual stuff. So what I thought I do today is is talk about kind of the initial process of pulling something together. And then what does that look like once you have a product? I think like if you're anything like me, you get like really excited about the product and then you get and if you get the product done, which hopefully PageWheel will help you do, and we'll walk through that really quickly this morning. But then what? Oh, like that, then all right, I have this now. And then like people just seem to magically appear in my account. And although it is not actually magical, it can feel like magical if you do a few things. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. But the step between like, hey, I've got something, and I need to connect it with people is kind of what we're gonna talk about today. So let's and April, I see I mentioned earlier that yeah, I'm going to record this right now. I am
Okay.
recording now. And I was also been communicating with you on intercom this morning.
Yes, I did see that, and I'll just have to go back and get on live chat with Zapier and figure out what's going on. I have deleted all traces of everything, started all over, reauthorized all the things, and I
Okay.
just,
All right. Let's talk about that offline because I
yeah.
think there's a few things that we can do for you.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay.
So I'm going to share my screen here. And
You want me to wait before I go chatting with Zapier?
no, if you want to do that simultaneously at this point, that's fine. I think, yeah, like if you've seen the videos I sent you this morning, then
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All
Go.
right, I'll go back and look. I hadn't seen the videos, but I did see the
Okay,
response.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So this is if you're just getting started with PageWheel, this is like kind of the dashboard, the app.pagewheel.com that you're going to go into and make your first product. So I'm just going to walk through that really quickly, just because every time we do this, somebody's like, "Oh my goodness, like I didn't realize that that's how this worked." So we're going to start with just the idea of, hey, we want to grow our email list, or, and you can put a price on this, but we'll talk specifically about email lists just today so we can have a conversation about that. So one of the things, the easiest way to do that is to create like a lead magnet or what you might call an opt-in, so that you're solving like a problem for somebody that might be a potential customer or a group member, community member for you. And that gives you that targeted ability to actually answer questions that you would like are kind of a stepping stone to what you might be putting out into the world into the future, which is a really strong thing. So let's go to the product builder, and we're just going to think about, okay, we're going to solve a problem, and it's going to be something targeted to people that might be attracted to what I have to offer down the road. So you could, if you have something already done, you could upload your own PDF. You could use that as a basis and add some pages from PageWheel, or you could go into Ready to Edit and Page by Page Builder. So I'm just going to hit one of these buttons and we're just going to move it from there because you can mix and match all of the above. So I was thinking that for me, one of the things that is a pain point is in the summer, I have to feed children. And like, that's just a pain point for me. So I am going to I'm just put recipe into, these are the batches. So there's like a mix and match rice bowl idea. I'm going to grab that. And then there is also a smoothie a day recipe here. So let's just add those. And so you can see once I select them, they put them up here. And so we're going to be starting with, it looks like each one of those is about 5 pages. Now we're going to add the custom colors. I always like this bright and colorful one. and go to the next page. I generally don't change out the font because it doesn't matter to me, but you can if it does. So now it knows that I pulled in that mix and match rice bowl. So but what I want to really do is quick and easy summer kid friendly meal ideas. Okay, we could just go with that, or I'm going to hit that just to see if AI wants to make that a little fancier. Actually, it shortened it a little bit. Summer recipes. Let's do that. And then what I'm going to do here is put that easy kid friendly summer meals. See what it says here. Fresh and vibrant. Vibrant sounds fun. Light and refreshing dishes, creative ways to incorporate summer fruits, delicious meals that makes them, that's kind of fun. Let's do that. And let's add the words kid in there somewhere. Delicious recipe, seasonal produce, easy and kid friendly. Okay. So this is what we got, summer recipes with a question mark. That might be what I have in my brain, but that's not the solution we're presenting. So I'm going to go with,
Those are mystery recipes.
yeah, those are mystery recipes, that is basically my house to a T. So we're going to grab that and just go next. All right, so I have these two things already in here. So I want to kind of pull them together a little bit with kind of a plan. So let's add a page, and I'm going to add an about me page that kind of explains what I'm doing. These are fancy.
I've never seen these before.
I
Oh, I know.
know.
Don't you love the new one? I love the new About Me pages.
They're really fancy. I mean, like, it's almost too fancy for me. So I need to move you guys so I can access my photos here. Oh my gosh. I'm having a hard time moving you. All right.
Holly, you sound kind of like my husband did. He's got a little stuffy something or other going
Oh
on.
my gosh. I was in bed for an entire day and a half this week. And of course we're in the tropics. So
Yeah.
I'm like hacking up a lung at the beach, which is fun. Let's see. What? I don't know if this didn't. And this part of the problem here is that I am on the world's slowest internet. So we may have to pretend like this works. Oh, I didn't make it big enough. Just a second.
Yeah, Kim's right. I didn't think about that. You've got beach hair. That's what we keep talking about, how cute your hair is. And then we realize now why.
Yes, I'm very beachy.
Well, humid.
Yeah, it's very, let's just say there's no hope for straightening this mess out.
I feel your pain every day.
It's very cute.
Thanks. With a max, this one is not working. I'm going to add a different page since this one is not working with the photos I have available. All right, let's just do this. I'm sorry, this is taking, like, it's literally like every single Zoom button is on top of every single PageWheel button for me. All right, so what we're going to do here is use the AI Page Assist, and I'm going to say easy summer recipes for families with picky kids, and just let it run. And then one of the ways that I like to use AI is to get something on paper, but not use it in its entirety. In fact, I just wrote about this on my own blog this morning about how AI is like really good at the super general, like non-specific, sounding kind of fancy in a weird general way, but it's really bad at like connecting the dots for actual humans because remember, it is repeating a word pattern. It is not repeating a heart pattern. So it's going to talk about like other people's struggles with picky kids and summer eating and stuff like that, which is really great. But if I'm going to actually add some value to this, outside of that, I'm just going to add a paragraph here at the beginning that is just like summer is hard because you are pulled in a lot of directions, yet the kids still have to eat. So I have pulled together some of my favorite ideas for easy, healthy, and kid-friendly meals. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of times when you start looking at the rest of this, it will make sense when you add something actually specific. Which is the interesting thing about writing in general is it needs to have specificity, but there also needs to be general information too. Otherwise, AI would get it right every single time. So anyway, I would go through here if I was going to actually publish this and make sure that these things actually make sense to the reader, but just pulling it together in that way. And then I'm going to come up here. My internet's like so slow. Is just let's go into this. And then at the end of this, I'm gonna put kind of what to expect here. So I have pulled together a mix and match rice bowl solution that works great multiple times a week, plus our favorite breakfast smoothies. Also included are some easy family meals we use. All right. So let's go in and add a page. Let's add a recipe page. And this is where you could put in some of your favorite recipes. And obviously you could make a little mini cookbook out of this. Since this is a, this is actually already 10 pages or more. So you don't feel like you need to overwhelm them with information. This could be as simple as my favorite family meal. It could be 1 page, 2 page, 5 pages, whatever makes sense for you guys. So we're just gonna make this a easy summer squash casserole. Now, if I'm a little picky about this, I would make sure it's something that actually works. So I would take the AI with a little bit of thing, but in this case, we're just going to play with it because we're making this. All right, let's go into the grid view. Actually, I want to get rid of that, the About Me page that we did not. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to delete it since I was unable to make it work. Okay, I'm going to go into the grid view where I can drag and drop. I'm going to pull this into the first page, which is kind of my introduction. Then I'm going to bring in this in between the two. Let's see. I want to do it in between the two things. Okay. All right. So I'm happy with that. And let's go ahead and publish it. And you can see this is what we've just made. And let's go ahead and publish it. And by the way, one of the things I like about this is we can come back and if I wanted to go add a real recipe into what I just created there, I could do that. I can come back and edit it at any time. I can add pages, I can delete pages. So don't feel like it's set in stone at this point. Or if you want to look at it, put it together with your opt-in page and stuff like that, go ahead and do that. You can go back and change things. All right. So it's going to create a kind of a landing page for your people to opt in or buy. We're going to use this as an opt-in. So I'm going to keep the price as free, but if you wanted to sell it, you could go ahead and put your own thing there. So summer recipes, that's a little broad for this because think about when you are presenting something out if you're presenting a really specific solution that someone's like, oh, I need that. So in general, of course, there's like, okay, summer recipes, that's fine. But what if you said, I have a solution for what you can make out of your pantry tonight that your kids will eat? That is something that people are a lot more likely to click on right now because there's a sense of urgency of, oh, I do have to feed my children tonight. And oh, by the way, I forgot to go to the grocery store. So thinking about how specific you can get can be really, really helpful, especially with an opt-in. So instead of doing summer recipes is tonight, go to family meals for summer. Let's just see what happens when we do that. Is that adding a little bit of urgency to it? Delicious summer dinners ready now. This is for you if you wanted to find quick and delicious family meals for those busy summer evenings that you don't feel like spending hours in the kitchen. So you can see that this, I would go through and make sure that this actually aligns with what I just talked about, but pretty good there. And then I would go in and add an image here just so that since I didn't make an about me page. All right, let's say it looks good next. And then let's take this. Okay, it's assigned 6 delicious family meals to me. So I'm gonna delete that and just be a little bit more general in this. This is the delivery page. This is where they're gonna download that. And then if you wanted to add an additional, let's go ahead and add additional link here. It's activities blog. Okay. So obviously if I was, sending this out, I might put a video in there. I might put more information. I might give them more information about what I want them to do next. But what I wanted to talk about today was what we're going to do with this now that we've created it. So summer recipes, you could change this out a little bit. I'm going to. Okay. And then this is the delivery email. So I'd want to make sure this actually sounds like me. Like I don't want hhomer@xyz business with fed kids. Okay. And then I'm going to publish that. So now you have your sales page. So let's copy that or open it. And I copied the link because this is what we're going to use to now we have this thing and we have it for free. So we want to put it out into the world in different ways that people might be attracted to it. So let's go I'm going to go back to PageWheel and we're going to go, I have my link. I'm ready to promote it and go over to the other side of PageWheel. So summer recipes that kids will love that are easy to make. And let's go start with the obvious, the social calendar. But the social calendar, if you're just getting started with this thought process, the way I kind of think about it when you're going forward to promote something is like, what are all the ways that I could put this out in the world in different ways that look different? Yeah, I could go in and make 52 Facebook posts that look exactly the same, but like the ROI on that is probably not going to be super high. So how are different ways I can talk about it? How are different ways I can present about it? How are different ways I can show that it solves a problem that that somebody could actually read through all those different ways and not think, oh my God, she's like promoting that same product over and over and over again. So so I think this is a really good way to start. And it may be all you need as far as just to spark that. But So let's look and just see what it came up with, and we'll just read across the Facebook one. Introduce a theme, summer recipes that kids will love, and share a recipe for homemade ice cream cones. So maybe not what I was thinking about, but quite honestly, not a bad thing to get pet attention. And by the way, you could be promoting this in ways that doesn't even include that idea. So let's say I do want to like have a recipe on how to make homemade ice cream cones, or how to dress up an ice cream cone, or how to, I don't know, make something related to ice cream cones. Doesn't mean that that product that I'm promoting as my lead magnet actually has to have ice cream cones in it. Does that make sense? Like, it's like, hey, we're looking for fun, quick, and summer ideas. Here's one. Oh, you want more? Here, go sign up for my email list and I'll send you more. So there's, when you're thinking about, and I think this comes a little easier in some respects from those of us who've been blogging in the world for a really, really, really long time, is we think about content marketing in the way that, hey, one idea that's associated to another set of ideas can be a really good way to promote. So, hey, you like that idea? You'll probably like these as well. So Monday says, post a quick video tutorial on how to make refreshing watermelon popsicles. Same thing, like, hey, here's a quick and easy idea, healthy, kid-friendly, easy, one ingredient. Stick a popsicle stick in a watermelon slice, you got a popsicle, that kind of thing. Tuesday, share.
Okay, can we back up for a second?
Yeah.
Polly, can we back up for a second?
Sure.
On Sunday, you're going to introduce the theme, summer recipes that kids will love, and share a recipe for homemade ice cream cones. Are you linking to a post with homemade ice cream cones, or are you putting that on Facebook? And where's your product?
So remember, what we're trying to do here is push forward that opt-in. So we have the link to the opt-in of easy summer recipes, because we wanted to get them on your email
that
list.
post.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to send them. So in my mind, we're sending them here to this landing page. If you have a blog post that you're promoting this in, you might send it to that. You know what I mean? But like the easiest step 1 to step 2 is, we have this. How can we promote it?
So every one of those, we're putting this link in. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And then where are you putting the ice cream cones?
So let's say, okay, we're going to step out of like content. We're going to step more into idea creation content versus actual literal link content. So I might do a quick video, or I might do a little info like picture. Let's go back and read exactly what that says and come up with several ideas of how we could accomplish that. And once again, I need to move this so I can actually get to where's the page. So introduce the theme, summer recipes that kids will love, and share a recipe for homemade ice cream cones. So that could be a text post. That could be like, hey, my favorite summer ice cream is these 3 ingredients, freeze them. That could be an image that has maybe like kind of an infogram that has like, make homemade ice cream, blah, 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 blah. It could be a short video. It could be a long video. It could be like 100 things that just is like, hey, here's a way to make ice cream. But the call to action on that post would be, hey, if you like this idea, I have more quick and easy ways that you can feed your kids this summer. Go get my freebie. Does that make sense?
Yes, I just wasn't sure. I would see these and then it's like, okay, but they're not related to the product really. So how do I get the product in there? But you just put it in there.
If you're like, hey, I want to be really specific on the product, that's another way, is take me back. I want to get more specific. So I have a book that has a bunch of ways to feed your family this summer. This is likely to get us a little bit more specific versus, hey, here's a bunch of things. And I know we've talked about this before, Diane, where like if you're like, I don't want to give away extra content, I want them to come to me, you may want to describe it a little bit more specifically. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let's look at
I
this.
think
Introduce
you're
the
thinking
book.
about social too, which is a different animal than blogging, because people on social don't want to see link after link after link
Right.
after link after link. They're like, I'm here to socialize. So you're kind of saying, hey, I can make ice cream. And they're like, oh, I like ice cream. And you're connecting the dots a little more. It's not so direct. You're right. It's not so direct, but it's
It's
kind of like,
more
this is
on the
food.
platform. So think about what you're giving away enough on the platform that somebody's like, hey, that was interesting.
Mm,
I want to stay connected with that person. I'm going to go get her freebie.
yeah.
So like in this case, this might work better as a bridge for those of you who are like thinking, I need something a little bit more literal, is introduce the book, or basically you're introducing the fact that you have this guide, and then highlight its diverse range of summer recipes to feed your family. So in this case, you might be like, hey, I just made this thing that's going to feed your family this summer. Let's flip through it. And so that's another idea that could work on either set of editorial calendars. And I think like I love this conversation because one of the difficulties, like we could give you, and we could like give you 100 ways to promote your product, but for each one of you, it's going to hit a little bit different. And depending on your product and your community and where you are in this marketing world, as far as how comfortable you are turning on a video camera and recording that, is going to be like why I can't just give you 100 steps to do this. I mean, I could, but like each one of you would have attacked it a different way. And what's so beautiful about that is that's why the internet is not full of the exact same thing over and over and over again, is because you're going to interpret this in a way that works best for your people and for your product. So go ahead.
I have a quick question. Do you just you don't want to say click here, or you just put the link right there to the PageWheel thing, correct?
Yeah.
You don't use
And
the words click here and that sort of thing.
And here's a whole nother conversation that I think is really good to have right now is if you forward face with that link, like if you say, hey, I'm flipping through this free book, here's the link, and then you put your video, Facebook is going to show it to 1/100th of the people that you might have reached if you would have not put that link in there. Okay. So that's one of the things that we're working around here, is not forward facing some of these links. It's okay to forward face some of your posts with a link. Just realize that that's going to limit the reach on any given platform. So one of the things I like about these things is like, okay, I'm going to just start having a conversation with, on a video that says, hey, I just made this really cool book. Maybe I printed it out, and maybe you flip through it and you're saying, or let me tell you about one of my favorite things that's in it. And then how do you get it? Okay, there's lots of ways you can get it. I can say, hey, I put the link in the first comment here. Or I can say, DM me and I'll send it to you. Or I can say, go here, and they have them type in something that they go here to get it. So there's lots of different ways once I get their attention. The problem is these days, and one of the reasons why we're trying to be diversifying all of our attention getting posts so that we can catch their attention long enough to get them to take action on, oh, find the link in the comments below, DM me, go to this website and grab it. Does that make sense? Use this QR code, that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
So like the crazy thing is, and one of the reasons why I love the, kind of the editorial calendar is we have all these different ways that we can get their attention. And then we have the second level to that is we have all these different ways that we can grab that attention and send it somewhere. Does that make sense? So like, and you're going to find that some things are going to work better on some platforms than others. Some things are going to work better, like as far as your community or what you're, a lot of times people are, or you say, hey, I know a lot of you are using ManyChat. It's like, hey, comment below and I'll send this to you. you could say comment below and I'll send this to you, even if you're not using ManyChat, because you could just go in and respond to, send a message to each person that has responded to that, or put it in the comments. Hey, you can grab this at this link. Have a conversation with those people. Don't get stymied by the fact that one-to-many can be a little bit difficult sometimes with a forward-facing link these days.
Holly, in the chat, they're discussing putting the link in comments that Facebook doesn't like it and that kind of thing.
Let's go.
Can you speak on that?
Yeah. Let's see.
Holly, that was a comment from me. I just know that the algorithm keeps changing all the time. And even if you put see link in comments, they
Yes.
now know that you're taking them off the platform.
Right.
And so you want to have a call to action, just like you're saying, for the people to take, join your list or something. The best thing I think is to DM, because then you're building that relationship with them and having them take the next step that's best for them based on what they need.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's such a strong call to action, because you guys have to remember, why is that person there? I mean, yes, they want summer recipes for their kids, but they also are on social media because they want to be connected to other people. Like, because they could go watch the Food Channel. Like, if that's all they wanted was really good summer recipes, then they would be on Netflix watching, how to, the Food Channel, like how to make this, how to make that. That's not the motivation of why they're there. They're there to connect with other people. And so when you open that door and say, hey, DM me, let's talk about, I have a solution for this, DM me. In fact, I just made something free I'll send to you. And that opens the door for not just you to get them on your email list, but to actually have some sort of connection there where when they know who you are when that email actually comes, or they actually go open up what you just sent them because it's more meaningful to them than just a freebie on the internet. So think about when you're this is just a little bit of algorithm busting 101, is how can, it's kind of like that, that game where you can't use certain words, how can you tell imply something that hey, I have a gift for you. And of course the gift thing is also going to be something that may trip up the algorithm, is describing how you have something for them. You could show them something, it can be yours, using words that the algorithm doesn't find spammy. So freebie, free gift, all those things, Google, Facebook, Instagram, they're on to you. Click below, click in first comment, those kind of things. Yes, they are going to. Now, if you can remember, if you can overcome and get some eyeballs on it before that spamminess comes in, then it becomes an organic conversation. Or if you see in the comments that your community is sharing that link within each other and you didn't even do it, that is going to look more organic from the other side too. So or one of the things I like to do too is add the link, say, hey, comment below, about something, maybe give me your solution for a summer idea so that we can have that conversation. And then after the video, I might go in and DM those people or add the link, or, hey, anyone that comments below, I'll DM you the link or something like that. QR codes can be really helpful. It's one of the things that we have on the roadmap for PageWheel, is to get those QR codes so that you can share it with QR codes, because that can also be effective. But that's also after the initial interaction and engagement, which is think about the social media networks. They spent billions of dollars to create platforms. They want those people on them. Now, I don't agree with that. Bloggers in this group do not agree with that. People with sales pages do not agree with that. But that's basically the bottom line, is we're here, they want to keep you on there. So if you can get them to engage within the platform before you send them offline, you're going to be a lot more successful. in the long term. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I love, so you can see how if like, in fact, this may be a fun thing we do in the future is how we can take one idea and we could literally come up with probably 100 ways to promote that, do that one idea. And then like, and the funny thing is that was just one of 100 ideas to promote that one product. So and this is kind of how the beginning of like, what can I do new today to promote my product? And if you can approach in a playful way and not like, oh my God, I got to do something every day, is like, okay, like what have I not done, or what have I not tried? Like what have I done a video? Have I done a short? Have I done a, a longer? Have I done an instructional? Have I done an email? Have I done a blurb? Have I done an image? Like going through like what can I do today that I haven't tried, or what I had to do today that would like really bring some interest to stop the scroll. Instead of approaching your social media calendar like, okay, I need to make 100 of these. Now, there is a point where you need to make 100 of these, but like that is not necessarily step one, especially if you're getting started with a new product, you don't know what's resonating well. You're going to be a lot better approaching it from a playful nature of what can I do today to do this, to get some information about how people are interacting with it. Once you have that traction information, then going and making 100 of it makes a lot more sense as far as your ROI. Yes, connecting the dots between your lead magnet and it's a bridge. I love the bridge. Let's see. So Lana says you don't put the link in the post, but the comment so you can reach more people. Yeah. And here again, like there may be times when it makes sense. Just know what you're doing when you're doing it. It may make sense to put a picture. One of your strategies may be to maybe use the picture of like all the pages laid out and say, hey, pick this up by clicking here. That may be one of your strategies. Just don't let it be your only strategy. Because there may be some people in your algorithm, in fact, on your personal profile, hey, I just made this, you want it? That might be a stronger, it might be seen by more people because your mom might comment on it, your best friend might comment on it, that's going to be a stronger strategy in some ways than it will be in other ways. So go ahead and try it. But like a lot of times I go to social media and I see that's all they tried. And then they're like, why is no one seeing this post? It's because you have 32 of the same thing over and over again. And by the way, the first time you tried it, it didn't reach a lot of people. So now we're just beating the dead horse over and over and over again. So looking at how can I approach it a different way? How can I approach it a different way? How can I approach it a different way? How can I deliver it a different way? And then see what's working. And if you can find one or two things that seem to work over and over again, that's when you go into the mass production of, okay, let me do this every Monday. Let me do this every Thursday. Let me do this every, and you can rinse and repeat at that point.
The thing with Facebook too is it's totally based on engagement. So the more engagement you get, the more eyeballs you see. Okay, so if you make a post of an ice cream and it goes viral and you didn't have your link on it, oh my God, Diane. But the next time a post goes up by you, more eyeballs will see it because those people recently engaged with your content. So they're more likely to at least see it come through their feed, where they wouldn't have seen it at all if it was just link after link after link and every single thing was suppressed.
Yeah, and to take that a step further is I've always believed in kind of the mini water cooler, where like a mini viral situation, where is, okay, you talk about ice cream on Monday and like, okay, no link, but you talk about ice cream and a whole bunch of people come in and talk about ice cream. And then on Wednesday, you talk about ice cream again. Those people who attended your mini water cooler about ice cream likely will be first shown your new ice cream post, even though you have a million followers, but 32 of them are really into ice cream. Facebook knows that, and they're going to show those 32 people that ice cream post first. So, so while it doesn't feel viral on a snowball, you know, over the internet, it's the mini water cooler viral.
I also
Conversation.
used, when something goes viral, you can then take advantage and add a link once it's started. And
Or
I've done that
all
where I
those people that
monetized my YouTube
engaged
page,
with
you
it,
know?
like all those people that you engaged with, you know, continuing to communicate in the comments with them, sending them direct messages, that kind of stuff can be really powerful as well.
Yeah, I just think that you always have to keep, in Facebook anyway, I'm not familiar with anything else, that front and center, that Facebook wants everything social, because their job is to put ads in front of people. That's where they're making their money. So
Yeah.
they want as much engagement as they can get. If you help promote engagement, you kind of get to ride the wave a little bit too.
Yeah. So the KJ has a really good point, is like, for those of you who are scaled to the point where it would be almost impossible to go in and you know, respond, that's when you need these tools. But until you need these tools, like, you know, it's a good problem to have. You know what I mean? Like, so don't let it stop you that you don't have ManyChat. If, you know, realistically, we're talking about 5 or 10 comments on a post anyway. So, and in fact, tempt fate. Go out there.
Holly?
Yeah.
This is Cynthia. I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So I got into two groups. I know this is not our page, but it's the kind of the same thing, in which I put a sentence. Both of them are Christian groups, so they're right in my alley. One of them is even older, which is great. And on one of them, I got 217 comments, and on the other one, I got 197 comments. So now I'm a little overwhelmed on how to respond back to all of those people. I went through as they were coming in and, you know, made a comment, but now I need to reach out. I grabbed them. I figured out how to grab them and put them in a spreadsheet, but now I need to go back and comment, right, with all of those people, or try to of some way.
Yeah, and in this, so you have two choices here, and it's in an overwhelming situation, you may go with choice one, in that you may go in and on page or on post communicate with them. So you're going to go in and just respond to each of those people within that post. Number one, that gives that post more juice within that group, which is going to increase your clout within that group, so that when you post next time, those people are more likely to see it. And also it does give a little bit of one-on-one within those people. And it's doable. Like you could set a timer for 45 minutes and say, I'm just going to respond to as much of it as I can. And it, you know, at 45 minutes, I'm calling it quits, you know, and I think that's totally legitimate and fair. And you're going in intentionally knowing you're increasing your algorithm, you're connecting, but you're not connecting on a one-on-one level, but you kind of are. Like, you're giving those people, like when people have their comments responded to, they do, it is a level of, you know, acquaintance, intimacy, that kind of thing. So the second thing is then, you know, if you had unlimited time and energy or somebody to do it on your behalf, you could go in and direct message those people on, with a continuation of the conversation, not with, hey, I'm selling something, you know, not with something spammy, but with something like, hey, you know, I would love to hear your thoughts on this, or responding kind of what you might have said to them on that post, or a continuation thing of, hey, I thought you might find this interesting because of the comment you left on that post, that kind of thing. So, but obviously that in the end is optimal, especially if, you know, you have designs on bringing them into your own community and stuff like that, but we don't have to build Rome in a day. And number one, you only have the amount of time and energy that you have. But what you learned from posting in 2 different places and getting that immense response is something that you can then rinse and repeat. Like, I almost love that more for you than even collecting those 100 people at this point. because you resonate, whatever you posted resonated to a point which, which you got that much attention on an algorithm that doesn't give people that much attention very often.
Right. Thanks.
And like, it is not a waste, by the way, to like, if you've done what you can do, that is not a waste. What a waste is if you post these things out and then never go back and do any sort of follow-up or any sort of intentional follow-up. That's the waste. So like, if you're like, hey, life is busy, I only have 15 minutes for this, I'm going to go in and do what I can do, that you're walking in with intention on that. So, and that is going to build your knowledge for the next time this happens. Pinterest is the only platform that encourages you to send people elsewhere, except that they're trying to not. But they haven't figured it out yet. Luckily, they're not as smart as the other ones. Oh my gosh. All right.
Speaking of Pinterest, can we say one thing about Pinterest?
Yes.
Kim Rutherford had a really interesting beginning to a conversation we had offline this morning. Not offline, but as offline as you can get in Canada. So one of the other lives this week, I talked about the comments, reviews on an Amazon product that was just crazy. And the screenshot of it was going bananas. And I was like, man, it's too bad it's out of stock, because I totally would like, make a fun reel out of this and then say, hey, you want to try it out for yourself, and, have a ManyChat automation to get this giant 12-foot beach ball. Right. That ended up in another state. Well, that particular screenshot popped up in Kim Rutherford's newsfeed today. Like, not from me.
Right.
And so then she took that and ran it through PageWheel, Copy Shop. And then we started talking about, wait a minute, when this thing pops back up, and then obviously it's not in stock, so we could go find some random thing on Amazon that's got a really high price tag that has lots of good reviews, and run it through Copy Shop, and then go pin it with our Amazon affiliate link.
Yeah.
And then we're not messing up our messaging on our Facebook pages that we're trying to build. Just yesterday in Makers, David Murphy was going over my Mail Some Joy page, and he's like, you're finally getting your messaging down, so in other words, I would never want to throw a random giant beach ball into the Mail Some Joy page to make money off Amazon. Right. Because now I'm just confusing my readers.
Yeah.
But you can confuse them all you want to on Pinterest.
On Pinterest, you can confuse also your email list. You can, because the thing is it's not confusion if you can connect the dots. And so like, if you pop it, you could like, hey, the super weird, I love super weird products. Look what I found today, guys. Like, I mean, you could work that into any sort of joyful anything, because what brings me joy is just the most ridiculous things on the internet. So within context, almost anything can be within context.
Right.
It's just like, that's harder to do like on a Facebook page, like with a or on an beautiful Instagram thing. But like when you're being yourself, or when you're writing, or when you're connecting the dots in that way, it can be really fun. Crocheting with cat hair.
Oh my
God. That almost made me throw up a little bit.
That would be so itchy, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh, there's a book on Amazon. Oh,
gross is the word you were looking for, not itchy. Gross.
But it's such a great conversation starter on a craft page.
I bet.
It gets people talking. You get engagement.
Oh my
The
gosh.
cat owners love it. The
My
dog
husband
owners
would
hate
break
it.
out in hives. Yeah, I feel like, if you can work that into your narrative today, I say go for it, because I think you're going to get a lot of attention.
It's all going to pop up on our newsfeed now.
I know. In fact, if you need a good subject line for your email today, crocheting with cat hair might be part of it.
Right. Oh, they'll open that email.
Nobody can ever see the back end of my page wheel when I run things. Except for maybe you guys, you might get a laugh out of what I put in there to see what will come up.
So that could be a second monetization idea for us, is it hold you guys ransom for your searches.
Right.
Your
That is
search history.
hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's so random. Yeah, well, there's,
But
I'm telling you, there's something weird for every single subject. That this actually happened. They had to delay a Delta Airlines flight because the woman would not stow her cat because she was nursing it.
okay.
Okay, that's gross.
Let
I
that
was gonna
sink in.
say, okay.
Not feeding it, nursing it.
No,
Yeah, that's all kinds
So-
wrong.
You
Okay.
cannot make this stuff up. It's
So,
actually,
can't.
it
but
actually
let's
happened.
talk about the psychology of that a little bit. So leveraging what, in the olden days got a bad name as clickbait, is really where Rachel and I got our start on growing things, because at that time it's not clickbait if it delivers. But
Yeah.
basically what we're talking about is things that will stop your scroll, because it's universally like, what? And if you can leverage the what in a way that is on target or connected, and by the way, there's a lot of people that will stop the scroll that are not appropriate for whatever you have that next step. And that's the part of the problem with viral, is that yes, it gets a lot of eyeballs, but those eyeballs are, a lot of people are into it just for the what, not for whatever might come next. They do not want the relationship with you. And so this is this tightrope that we walk, as far as stopping scroll, getting eyeballs and attention, and then finding the people that are really into you or get it. And it's fine to have a lot of the what's out there, because that can siphon into those people. But just realize that just because someone stopped the scroll doesn't make them the ideal customer. And that's where
Right.
all of this kind of juggling happens.
Hey, Holly, I have one quick question. Yeah. And that is, right now, what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks is I have been starting to write my story because I want to finish it. And I got this inspiration that if I start putting little short stories about my life as a blog, and then do it on my Facebook page, then people would read it, and then I get all this really great comments. Now, from what you're talking about today, I got this new idea, and that is because what I've been doing is just putting the title of what the blog is, or whatever, and read here and go here to read it and stuff like that, and put the link on the post, and then I put a cute little picture to go with it.
Yeah.
Okay, but should I make a group, which I got many groups, I could do a group easy. I guess I practice them to try to learn if I can, I got one that's really good though. But anyway, okay, should I put a post and say, if you want to read more of the story, and then put a link to the group and have them join the group, so I collect the people who are reading the story in a group. So when I bring my book out, eventually I have a group that's already been reading the book who may want to buy the book, or how would be the best way to handle that? Because if you're saying don't put the link in the post, but put the link in the comments, I'm trying to figure out how the best way to capture the readers for my story.
Yeah. So your primary goal is just to collect people. Is that correct at this point? Collect people that might want to, that started the story or might want to read the story.
Yes.
Okay.
Get readers for my book. And
This
readers
might be a
future book.
situation that you might publish some of those things as posts that don't have links at all. Because you really at this point want to get the most out there. Now, let's say you put out a story today, maybe even on your personal Facebook page or your regular page, you put it out into the internet on some social media, and it's like a complete story from from start to finish. You could potentially then use the interaction, or you could do a call to action. Hey, have you ever experienced something like this? I don't know, like what the story is about, but getting
kinda
some
cut in and out. I couldn't
interaction,
tell what you're
doing some
saying.
sort of call to action of some communication in the comments, or DM me, depending on how private and that kind of stuff it might be. But you could then use the comments to say, hey, if you want to catch up on my story, you could go here, you could join the group, you could, you don't have to do that in the actual beginning of you don't have to add a link in the actual content, if that makes sense. Because your goal is to collect the people, not to drive traffic to a website. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So you
I
could
it
send
kinda
them
cut in
to
and
a
out a little
group,
bit.
you could send them anywhere, but the point is it might be after they start interacting with you that you're actually, directing them somewhere, and not starting this off on because if you publish a long form content on a social media network without a link, it's going to get seen by a lot more people. And the thing that about long form content on an algorithm based platform is that when someone actually reads it, they are hovered over that post for a significant amount of time, a lot more time than they spent looking at the cat video on the post before. So that also is going to register within the algorithm to your behalf, meaning that,
Okay.
Kim read Lana's post for 2.5 minutes when her average post she reads for 32 seconds. So it's when next time you publish something out, Kim's a lot more likely to see it. But the other thing is, if Kim then leaves a comment, you could then message Kim and say, hey, by the way, if you want to catch up on all of my writings, it's here, or join my Facebook group, or hey, I have a freebie you might like if you like that story, that kind of stuff.
Okay, but would it be okay to go back and post the first story again, like you say, as the long
Yes.
comment?
You can't wear it out. Lana, you can't wear it out. Because
Okay,
if
so
you
I
go
can go
back and look
post
at how many people
comment.
actually saw that post, it's probably under 100.
Oh,
So
yeah.
your goal over the next month is to see if you can get 4,000 people's eyeballs on that post. You might have to post it 15 times in different ways. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
'Cause look at the math of the community and see if you can start playing with it to see if you can ever reach more and more and more. So maybe the first time you did a few blurbs and a link and it reached 30 people. Now let's try a long form content with a catchy image. Maybe you'll reach 500 people with that. And by the way, you could do that same thing with a different image or a different intro in a week from now and see if you can get another 150. Because it's not the same people. And even
Okay.
if it is, if I read your story a month ago and it was really interesting to me and I connected with it and I saw you writing about it again and I would be like, oh yeah, I remember this about Lana. Oh yeah, I've been thinking about this story, Lana. I have these things to add now. So this is not oh, I just published a book and I'm making you read it over and over and over again. Because everybody has grown since they saw that. If they did see it the first time, they've grown, it sat with them. You're changing things up a little bit so you're not reposting the exact same thing over and over and over again. And you can have a deeper conversation about it the second or third time that you might look through it.
Okay, great. Thanks.
So, all right. I can't believe it's already, time flies. We're
That's
having so much
exactly
fun.
how Ree Drummond started, Lana.
Yeah. I read every single blog post that
I read
she wrote,
everyone,
and then she put it in
the
a book.
next day I was like, where's the next chapter?
Yeah,
Are they going to get together?
Yeah, who is that? Because I've had
Ree Drummond is the pioneer
The
woman.
pioneer woman.
okay,
And
because
she,
I had several people that on my posts when I posted the first one, they said, okay, when's the next one? When's the next one?
yeah, so she wrote out her and her husband's love story in chapters, and we all followed it, and then she sold us a book and now she has a TV show. So
Oh, okay, well,
And now she has dishes and
yeah,
she's in Walmart.
she's in
and
Walmart.
yeah.
But it
Man,
all started out from a cereal.
Lana, the title for the book is under Rachel's comment, or not Rachel's, April's comments in the chat. So make sure you grab the chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
it's called High Heels to Tractor Wheels. It's the cutest book, really.
It is very
It's the
cute.
And the funny thing is, I was thinking to myself during watching her whole transformation, I was thinking, boy, I bet her rancher husband sure is happy she's making all this money. And then I looked him up and I was like, oh, never mind. He does not need her money. Like, he and his family are some of the most successful, largest landowners in the US.
In Oklahoma.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty, yeah, like, well, now she owns the whole town up there, so.
Right.
So it's almost like it's a Waco Junior.
It is, isn't it? I know.
But although I don't think Waco would exist without Reed Drummond first, so she kind of paved the way for all of that.
She did.
All right. So it's possible. It starts with one thing. It starts with one piece of content, and it starts with connecting with people wanting to, get eyeballs on it. So
Yeah,
go
that's
for it.
great. I'm gonna go repost my stories.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, do not reinvent the wheel every day. And this is probably the bottom line is like, you're going to do something once and then promote it a million ways. You're going to write something once and promote it a million ways. And that keeps you from having to and I love that you make a million PageWheel products, but really you need a handful of PageWheel products and a million ways to promote them. Does that make sense?
So the month of June, you guys can keep me accountable. The month of June, because I'm moving, closing date is June 28th. So it's going to be nuts and crazy. I am literally focusing on one thing the entire month. If you see me posting about anything else, you are welcome to message me and say, get back on the reservation. I'm selling this ManyChat course like crazy. That is all I'm talking about the month of June. I'm posting about it. I'm making reels about it. I'll collaborate with other people about it if they've used it and they want to talk about it. And because collaboration reels on Instagram right now are going nuts. I've got a 12,000 view reel that was a collaboration reel, and they're doing really well. So for the month of June, the
Just
videos
talk about
are
one thing.
made.
I love
It's
it.
already done. It is ManyChat June.
I love it. I love it. So what's your ManyChat this month? All right, guys, have an amazing weekend. I will see you on Monday and I will be home.
Thanks,
Bye.
Holly. Bye.
Have a great
Safe
weekend.
travels.